live coverage of Expo North as it happens.
This is Expo North Live.
The creative industries is fast growing in the Highlands and Islands. Here to tell us more about fostering that growth is Iain Hamilton, Head of Creative Industries at Highlands and Islands Enterprise. Now, Iain, you've always supported what we might call the traditional arts, writing, publishing, music, craft, of course. But you said in 2014 that you were going to start prioritising digital services and design services. How's that working out for you?
Well, the test of that will be over the next few days to see when you go whether you think it was been a success. But we've been really pleased with how it's gone so far. When we're talking about the digital services and things, it's not just about companies working specifically in digital, it's also about how all these other businesses use digital to develop their own businesses and the work they're doing. So when you think about it, how you engage with your customers online, how you can get people to spend time thinking about your products and encourage them to take an action and follow up on conversations or whatever and get involved even in the production process, that's where the digital really comes in. And that's a common element for everybody. I mean, there's not many businesses who are not going to be interested in how to engage their customers. So, you know, it certainly is, we're getting results of it and people seem interested. So,
it's a common question asked by skeptics. What is it that the creative industries contribute to the economy of the Highlands and Islands?
I can't tell you the exact figure in terms of the turnover at the moment, but it's around 8.5% of the jobs in the Highlands and Islands are in creative industries. And when you take some of the more rural areas, the percentages are even higher. So I think we've got some folk from the island of Egg talking about their business and what they're doing there. But the population is just over 70 on a small island, and yet something like 65, 70% of the population earn a chunk of their income off creative industries. So that may not be huge in terms of actual numbers, but it's a huge impact on these communities. So, you know, when you break it down, that's a lot of value to us.
I mean, I'm very much struck with the creative industries that quite often, you know, particularly in the Highlands and Islands, we're not talking, you know, companies that are dealing in the hundreds. We're talking about sole traders, we're talking about freelancers. What do you do to support them? Well,
to be honest, it's mainly sole traders and freelancers we're dealing with. If we weren't interested in micro businesses, we wouldn't have many folk to work with. But I mean, that's a common issue everywhere. It's not just in areas like this. I mean, most, no, not all, the creative companies are small. And instead of bringing in hundreds of employees directly, they'll look at how they can collaborate with other folks. So you create scale by working with other people. And so some of the sessions we've got on in this one about how to get into networks, how to find other people to work with, and also how to manage the relationships, because you are sharing a marketplace with some of the biggest multinationals in the world. So if you deal with them, it's definitely weighted on one side as opposed to the other. So how do you know, make use of their services, but still retain your own identity within that and not lose what you were trying to do with it? So yeah, we're certainly keen on small business.
What is Expo North, as far as you're concerned? More than, for example, a way of making creatives feel less lonely and realising that there's other people out there? Well,
that is, I mean, the main thing. I mean, when it first started off, there was initial reactions from everybody going, oh, well, you can't have something up in the Highlands, or if those businesses were any good, they'd have shifted to Glasgow or London or wherever. So it's been great in terms of getting folk to look north and see what's happening. But also it's about giving a chance for people working here to see what's happening in the wider industry. So yeah, it's great if you know folk in your own area or you know folk in Scotland, but we also need to know what's happening in the rest of Europe, in America. What are the changes there, and what are those changes and how they affect us, and what we can take advantage of.
What's really impressed me about Expo North and Expo North Live is the way it sort of joins the dots, if you like. And in unexpected ways, you might have somebody who's a jeweller who then meets somebody who makes packaging or who makes videos that could advertise the jewellery.
Yeah, that was a conscious decision that we wanted to shift. When we first started the event, it was a music event, and we still like music and it's still there, and we're a core part. But what was really clear was that the problems everybody was facing and the challenges they had are the same, tweaks depending on what you're working on, but a lot of the core issues are the same. So if you see somebody working in film is able to say, well, this is how we resolved that, or somebody in music saying we dealt with it this way, it's great to be able to share that knowledge. And particularly as you look at how folk work, that you go online, they need to have content for there, so you're needing film made, you're needing soundtracks for stuff, you're needing writers, designers. These are all skills that you won't have yourself necessarily, especially if you're a one-man business or woman business.
Nicely done, Iain. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.